With open carry, you lose the element of surprise and you make yourself a target.
Exactly. So I would never do that.
Point being, you shouldn't need a permit to conceal carry. That's the point. The Supremes are going to hear a case that may turn everything on its head, you know.
And what case is that?
Whether or not administrative law agencies, i.e. all the alphabet agencies, can enforce regulations with the color of law.
That's gone before the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I think the middle of February they're going to start arguing it.
Well, I have an incident that happened a few years back with my son. I'll keep it real short. We were putting up a rail fence on my property that I replaced. The fence was probably about 30 years old. So I got a new one, and we were installing it, and my son had a sidearm on. He had it on that morning, and we were just about finished. My neighbor freaked out because he saw the gun. Called the police department. The police department came, and he arrested my son. And my son had, I'm legal. I have a license, and it's open carry. And the police officer said, well, I don't think so. Now, at the time, I didn't know it. I could have called for a supervisor, but I never knew that. But anyways, he got arrested, and long story short, we went to court. It took about 6 months, but they proved my neighbor was just an idiot. He threatened me a couple of times physically. I called the cops. It's written down. They wanted to arrest him. I said, no, don't do it. But they did a write-up on that, and then I had neighbors on that day when me and my son were out there. They saw what was going on. We got an affidavit from them. He was saying that my son went in the house to get the gun to scare him. And we got another affidavit because my son, prior to that, was down at the dump with my other son unloading a bunch of garbage and everything. And one of the attendees down there saw him with the gun, and they were chatting away. And he thought it was funny, you know. And we got an affidavit from him that he saw him wearing the gun. So my next-door neighbor was a full-blown liar. And after everything disappeared, you know, the court and everything, and my son got his gun back, my neighbor wound up, which I didn't know at the time, he was foreclosing on his house. So evidently he had some issues. But right after the court case was closed, about a month later, he packed up and left. I don't know where he went, but he was from California.
Yeah, one of those sick people, ones with mental disease. You should have turned around and sued the police department and attached that nice officer's bond.
Well, you know, there were a lot of things at the time I didn't know. I didn't know that if you got a supervisor that they would come and look over the situation because we were doing nothing. The guy had it out for me and my son. And we were just on my property, just putting the fence up. And even the cop was an asshole. When the cop came, I was kneeling on the ground because I was filling the hole for the fence. I went to get up, and he said, "Don't move. Get back down on your knees." Period. And I'm in shorts with a T-shirt. Like, what am I going to do? I'm 5'7", and I weigh 145 pounds. Like, and this guy was 2 times the size of me. Like, I'm going to go over there and beat him up?
Yeah, it's people like that we don't need in the police force. They're Marxists.
You want to see crap? Just look up on YouTube, First Amendment audits. This is just a camera, and watch the shit that goes on.
Oh, yeah. You can't film me. You're a public service. I can serve it. I can film you as much as I want.
Get out of City Hall. You're not allowed to film here. This is an FBI federal government building. Get out of here. This is a prison. This is screw you. First Amendment, people. And the cops don't care and they'll arrest them.
I know.
The cops are traitors.
You got to get a lawyer.
They're not all like that, but a lot of them are.
Later on, that cop that arrested my son and hassled me, I think it was a year later, he got arrested for beating up his wife, and I believe he lost his job being a cop.
That's not good enough. They should have hung him.
Well, he's no longer in town. I don't know where the hell he went. He must have went up north and probably got a job up there.
This behavior can't be tolerated anymore. This is America, after all.
Well, some people don't think it's America.
Well, we're going to ram it up their ass and make them move to China so where they could be a full-blown communist.
Well, I believe being nice. All these people that have issues with America, I would get a parachute for them and a special airplane, and they can either go to North Korea, Russia, or China, and I would bail them out with no identification, no visa, passport, you name it, and nice and gently they can float down, and they can see what happens there.
We got more problems than we know what to do with. We got to activate Operation Wetback 2.0.
Did you see Fox News the other day in Davos, Switzerland?
I never watch Fox News. They're traitors.
Well, they had a global warming meeting, and they had a bunch of people on stage. And before it started, they had this indigenous person of I don't know where. They walked out. They almost looked like an Indian, but not. And they were the voice of the forest. That's what it was called. It was a woman, the voice of the forest. And she came out and she babbled. I don't know what language she was babbling in, and she spoke for about 15 seconds, whatever the hell she was talking about. Then she walked over, and there were maybe 8 people on the stage, all the wealthies that are on the stage, and she went over to each one and kissed them on the head, on all of them, and they were all giddy, like, oh wow, this is cool.
Hey, Harry sent the video. Looked like George Soros stroked out.
Al Gore was there, and he did a standing ovation.
Yeah, don't you know, Manhattan's underwater. Al Gore was right.
Well, what about Obama? He's out there in Martha's Vineyard, I don't know how many acres he has, but it was a $200 million or $12 million home, and he's got, I believe, 3 homes. I guess he's really concerned about the water rising.
Hey, he was a poor man when he became president. How could that be?
Yeah, isn't that something? Most of these people that don't have money, and if they can make it, Clinton was the same way. And he was a nothing. He didn't own anything. I believe he didn't even drive. And he becomes president, and then they make a foundation making hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're in charge of it. And because you're in charge of it, you can draw a salary. And I believe the whole family was making well over $1 million each for the foundation. And then when she didn't become president, everybody stopped giving to her foundation.
You left the part out where foreign nation states were fattening up the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, and the whole thing is a double standard. Her server, emails, everything Anthony Weiner, all of that, nothing, disappeared, quiet, and they keep going after Trump. It's never going to end. I have a feeling if they can't get him, by law, I think they will. The CIA, FBI, or whatever those three-letter groups are, will try and assassinate him.
Good luck in the contest. They haven't assassinated him already. Forget about it.
Well, because they're figuring that they can do it legal. But if he makes it through all the hoops, the last resort is they got to get rid of him. They got rid of Kennedy. Anything can happen. I mean, here we are in 2024. 2019, it seemed like everything was okay, and then everything changed.
Hey, here's a trivia question for you. What did the three assassinated presidents have in common?
They all went to Yale. What do you call the Skull and Bones?
No, they wouldn't be dead if that were true. They were all printing money out of the Treasury and cutting the central bank out of the loop.
Gee, I wish I could print money.
Well, we got to stop printing money. That's why we're in the boat we're in right now. It enables them. They can do whatever they want. They just print more money. They can't print money. They can't do what they want.
Well, there's a problem right here because I think they want to get rid of Johnson, and I don't know. How do you get rid of all these people? You can't. They're there, even though you can vote, but you got the embedded government that's hidden from everybody, so they get to do what they want, and they tell the president what he can do or can't do.
I disagree with you. Johnson's a traitor. If you do away with their paycheck, they'll stop instantly.
Yeah, but they control everything. It's just like line item veto. Reagan tried to do that along with Clinton, and they voted that down. Now, why do you have to have money going to Ukraine attached to the border? There should be separate bills. Don't you worry about your own border? We're worrying about everybody else, but the hell with us. And look at the state we're in.
Reagan wanted every bill on a separate index card.
Yeah, it didn't go anyplace because they want to rule the nest.
Yeah, but not anymore. We can't afford this. The central bank's going. That means all their paychecks are going because we can't print money anymore. The little guy's out of steam. Most of them are on the street.
Well, not the way that Biden looks at it. He's eating his ice cream and having a good time, and he feels as though everything's okay. So I guess everything is okay.
No, Biden he doesn't even know his name. It's the magic nigger doing all this. I have no doubt about that. They're going to try to put his husband into the White House.
I heard that too, but at the same token, one person that I was listening to on the radio, they said, they're multimillionaires. Why would you even bother to become president or try to run? Because there's going to be a lot of crap, just like anybody. I don't care who it is. They're going to find crap on you, and that's all going to come out. Whether it sticks or bounces off, it's hard to say, but you're living a great life. You're a millionaire. You can come and go as you please, and no one sees you. Why the hell would you want to be president? Yeah, I guess if you're a control freak and you want to rule the world.
Well, here's the million-dollar question for you. Why did a billionaire want to be president?
Well, it's all about power. You got the money. You can do whatever you want. So, excuse me. I guess it's just the power. I've never been in that state of, where I was working that I had to be powerful and be a supervisor and control everything. Luckily, only one time I was a supervisor, and I did not like it because you make enemies, irregardless of what you do.
Hey, and how come President Trump lost money when he became president, and all the other ones gained money? I'm just asking for a friend.
Well, they were after him long before he even got elected. And again, most of these people, other than Jimmy Carter, was probably the only honest person that became president. He lived, very, by the means, not wealthy. But all these other people become president. They get these book deals. There's no way in hell that you could sell that many books and you get a fee of $10 million. It just doesn't work out. It's just a bribe. They're paying you back for all the stuff that you helped all these companies in your 4 years.
You mean like Hunter Biden's water paintings, his watercolors?
Oh, come on now. I've seen those paintings. Those are awesome. I would probably pay $2, maybe $3. It's ridiculous, but you know what? A payola. No different than going back in the 50s or early 60s with the music, and they were getting paid off. And again, no difference there. I mean, you could put shit, SHIT on a stick and sell it for $1 million. And if you want to buy it, well, hey, that's cool. That's art.
Yeah, but the foreign nation states buying them into LYM.
KA1RJQ. Yeah, I understand it, but the point is, it's not against the law for somebody to paint something that's not really worth anything. And there's foreign companies coming in. The whole thing is a mess, but I see it, you see it, but traction is going no place.
That is the law of averages. Eventually it catches up to you. When people can't feed their children anymore, it's going to be go time.
Well, I think probably by summer, I think we'll see what's going on and how the left is taking over. And I think the SHIT will probably start hitting the fan before election because they're showing their true colors now.
They need a reason not to have the election. You get it?
Well, that certainly can happen. I don't know what they're going to do. Another type of illness, pandemic of some sort, aliens coming down. You know what? Right now, I wouldn't mind seeing an alien, not from across the border, but from another planet. Maybe they can land at the White House and maybe eliminate some of the wood down there.
Well, the UN's talking about disease X now, and they're always pumping this cyber attack bullshit, so there's two options for them right there.
Well, the Democrats or the Communist Party will find a way of winning. They did it last time. They will do it again.
Yeah, that's if we sit on our asses and do nothing. I don't think it's going to go down that way this time. People are at their wits' end. They can barely afford to live. Some of them lost everything already. Desperate people do desperate things.
Well, I'm just waiting here on the sideline at the moment. There's not much I can do. I only protested once, in my life, and that was Bush and Gore with the Chad. I went to Lieberman's house. We were out in front of Lieberman's house, and I thought we were pretty good. I didn't know anybody there. There might have been maybe 30 people, and we just had signs, and it was cold. It was, it was in December, late December, early January, and we were out there, and no one did any harm to anybody, break windows or whatever. There was a small group of Democrats on the other side, and I stood there in the cold for a couple of hours, and then finally I said, that's it, and then people started leaving. But I've never been to a major protest, like January 6th or whatever, and January 6th was a setup. The CIA and the alphabet departments, that was all set up. Yeah, there were disgruntled people down there, but the alphabet party got things going.
Yeah, those are the guys busting windows and everything. Everybody knows the truth. They called it an insurrection. If it was a freaking insurrection, the people would have had their rifles by their side, and believe me, there would have been no defeating them. A million people like that? No way.
Well, you know it, I know it, but, they're in control, and they're saying it's insurrection, and it wasn't. No one went to jail for insurrection. They even claimed it wasn't an insurrection, so why are they going after Trump for insurrection? Because they can.
No, they're grasping at straws. You don't see how desperate they are?
Yeah, I see it. Only time will tell. We'll see what happens in the next 3 or 4 months on with the court cases and everything else. I lost hope in democracy that we have. Maybe people like you and I will finally wake up and protest and go to our capitals, maybe close down interstate highways and be very vocal. But I really doubt if that's going to happen, because most of us are hardworking people, and we can't afford to go out and do crazy things like that. I'm going to have to end it right now. My dinner is waiting for me, and the boss is calling, so I'll be back probably later. It's good chatting with you there, Mike, and the only thing I can say is just try and stay warm, and if you got a tube radio, that will do it. This is KA1RJQ.
Happiness is a warm gun. That's what the Beatles told us, Gene. All right, we'll catch up with you. I'm going to go check on dinner, too. N2OM.
Not when I was in school. When I was 10, 11, I had an orange shirt, and it said, happiness is a warm pussy, and it had a cat leaning back on a pillow.
Yeah, I never seen that one.
And I got thrown out of school for wearing it because they didn't like it.
What years was that?
It was probably 80, 79, 80, somewhere in there.
Oh, all right. I was out of school by then, but I don't recall ever seeing anything like that.
Yeah, it was a day glow orange, and it was all white leather. It was the old days when they did the iron-on, like race T-shirts. It's the same principle. And it was a white outline of the cat leaning back on a pillow, with the words "happiness is a warm pussy."
Well, that's pretty risque, you got to admit.
Yeah, I guess to 10 to 12-year-old not wearing one of them in school wasn't a good thing either.
Well, I got to go. My dinner, I'm having spaghetti tonight, and I'm a pasta guy. So I'm going to say 73rds. This is KA1RJQ.
I would say 73s, but I can't afford it, so 72s, KBWO.